Hey everyone, it's Christophe Choo from Coldwell Banker Global Luxury in Beverly Hills, and it's a gorgeous, glorious day in the city of Beverly Hills, and I'm high atop Beverly Hills right now, leaving, where am I? The Summit in Beverly Hills, which is one of the 3 or 4 gated communities in the Beverly Hills area. In fact, in the Beverly Hills Post Office area, because once you're up high up in the hills of Beverly Hills, it's called Beverly Hills Post Office, which is part of Los Angeles. However, you get the Beverly Hills 90210 address. So just finished a showing here at the Summit, and we've had 3 showings in the last couple of days. Today was Russian, yesterday was Chinese, week before was Chinese, so a lot of foreign buyers love to live here. A lot of them have vacation homes here. This one is listed for $6 million, and they like it because it's got privacy, security, guard gates, and it's centrally located. So it'll take me probably about 6-7 minutes to get from here down to the heart of Beverly Hills, which is kind of the Beverly Hills Hotel. So let me take a little tour of where I'm at. You can check it out. So I am on Mulholland Drive right at the moment. Just exited the gates of the Summit. And I'm going to be turning here on Coldwater Canyon. Coldwater Canyon is a street that runs north and south from the Beverly Hills Hotel, essentially, all the way straight through to the San Fernando Valley. So if you continue straight that way, you go right to the San Fernando Valley. And right now we're still in the Beverly Hills Post Office, and if you go a couple more blocks that way, then you're in the Studio City area. And I was very fortunate back, gosh, now about 6, maybe 7 years ago, I sold the highest price home sale in Studio City. I think it actually still is. It was about $6.2 million. And it was the second house outside of Beverly Hills, and it was the former Yvonne DiCarlo estate. For those of you that remember back in the 70s, I think it was, the Munsters, she was probably most famous for her being on the show called The Munsters, and she was the wife of Herman Munster. I forget her name on the show, but the Yvonne DiCarlo estate, and it was so cool. It had been majorly rebuilt and renovated by my clients that owned it for quite a long time. However, they did keep some of the original details, and I remember there was a leaded glass, stained glass window from the 1930s that had her initials in the leaded glass. And I have a picture of it somewhere, so anyways, just a little side note. So we're here on Coldwater Canyon, which is a very popular street. Houses here can range from about $2 million, kind of on the low side, up to about $130 million. Yeah, I know, it's kind of a big gap, but that's Beverly Hills for you, or Beverly Hills Post Office. There's a house here off of Lania Lane that's currently on the market. I think the current price is $129 million. And I'm working on a potential listing for not quite $100 million, but in that closer to that range. This is one of the gated communities here in the Beverly Hills Post Office area. And it's a nice community. I think only about 24 homes. It's kind of like a mini Beverly Park. So if those of you that heard about Beverly Park, it's kind of a little mini Beverly Park. And they're all newer homes. It was developed starting probably about 10 years ago. And I think, like I said, there's about 20, maybe 24 homes in there. Once people buy there, there haven't been a lot of resales. I think the last resale was around 17 or 20 million. So we're currently on the upper part of Coldwater Canyon. As you know, we just turned off of Mulholland Drive. And in this particular section right here on Coldwater, you might once in a blue moon get something for about $1.8 million, $1.9 million, an older house. It's a fixer. Quite often, as you'll see as we're going down, a lot of these homes, when they're being transferred, are being torn down and built new. However, that's been kind of commonplace here in the west side of Los Angeles for the last, I would say, at least 10 years. I'd say ever since the market started rebooting itself after the crash of 2007. I would say 8 to 9 out of every 10 homes sold in the key neighborhoods are being torn down and built as brand new homes. Everybody wants to live in the west side of LA, whether it's Beverly Hills, Bel Air, Cheviot Hills, you know, all over. We have so many wonderful areas, and this is just one of our many areas. So in terms of Coldwater Canyon, it's a lovely street. Now I will tell you, traffic-wise, there is a traffic pattern. So I'm coming from right now north-south back into Beverly Hills. So typically a lot of people work in the city, meaning Beverly Hills, Century City, we call it in the LA side of the hill. However, a lot of people live in the San Fernando Valley because home prices are definitely quite a bit cheaper, at least 50% cheaper in some areas. So commute time in the morning will be longer. Coming from the San Fernando Valley to Beverly Hills, it's typically quite crowded on Coldwater Canyon. And so in the mornings coming from Beverly Hills to that side is very light. However, it's now 2:30, so it's not traffic time yet, but I would say starting at around 4:30 or 5, you can have more traffic coming from Beverly Hills, the southern part, going back up towards the San Fernando Valley. So just something to know. We just now crossing the border between, I know it's like funny crossing the border from LA, Beverly Hills Post Office, and we're now in Beverly Hills proper. So we're now back in the city of Beverly Hills, and I would say this is one of my favorite parts of Coldwater Canyon because I really love all of these beautiful pine trees. These pine trees continue all the way down to Coldwater Canyon Park, and I'm guessing that they were probably planted in the early 1920s, would be my guess. And that's the fun thing about Beverly Hills. Some streets like Coldwater are all pine trees. A lot of pine trees right in this section of Beverly Hills. Then other streets are all palm trees. Other streets are all maple trees, sycamore trees. So we have a lot of trees in Beverly Hills, which is interesting. And if you are up in the hills and you're looking down on the city, you'll just notice that when you hit Beverly Hills, it's like it's all green. Because luckily the city planners were very smart in planting every single street with trees. Any street that had a sidewalk and a sidewalk median area, they planted trees on every single street throughout the whole city. So it's really cool when you're up in the hills and you look down. You can immediately tell Beverly Hills zone because it's green and lush and lots of trees. Versus the rest of the city, it was kind of just whatever happened. Of course, there are a few streets that have beautiful trees, but definitely Beverly Hills was created and developed, and they did a lot of planning in those days, and they did it right. So this is our newer fire station here at Coldwater Canyon Park. That park was just redone. There's another part of the park right there to the right. And now we're in the kind of pricier section of Beverly Hills. Right here on the right is a lot that was sold, gosh, maybe 6-7 years ago for around $8 or $9 million. They built a brand new modern home there. It looks quite beautiful. It's not been for sale. Up here, up to the right, we have the William Randolph Hearst estate, which has been off and on the market now for a few years. And it's actually, let's see if I can turn my camera. It's behind the gates over here. I think it's currently, forgive me for not remembering exactly, 140, 160 million, somewhere in that range. Here we go, and that's the entry gate. Very, very famous house. So many celebrities, presidents, and royals have been in that home. And it's, got a lot of really amazing original details and grounds. And if I remember correctly, I think it's a little bit over 4 acres of grounds. So down right over here on the right, there's a house that was torn down and sold a while ago, just under $10 million. It's being built as a new house. And right next door is similar situation. They bought the lot a few years ago, built a brand new house. It's a modern, contemporary Mediterranean, I would call it, and that's listed for $32 million. And I believe they've been renting it for $100,000 a month on short-term rentals, which actually I know it may sound crazy to most of you around the country, but here in Beverly Hills and the west side of LA, there's a lot of important people that come here and don't want to stay in a hotel, and they will spend $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 a month for 3-4 months at a time, renting a beautiful estate in Beverly Hills, fully furnished, of course, with dishes, towels, sheets, everything you need. And so it's very popular to do short-term rentals, and particularly in the summertime. We always have an influx of Middle Easterners that come here between kind of end of May, June, July, and they often stay for 90 days. So I always get those calls kind of end of March, April. A lot of wealthy Saudis and others from Qatar and Kuwait and Dubai who want to come here and spend the summertime when it's so hot in the Middle East and live in beautiful Southern California. So that's part of the fun of this town. Yeah, so rentals are big time money for homeowners that want to rent. So if you're going away for the summer and you don't mind renting your house, you can make a lot of money, just saying. It's got to be beautiful, turnkey, and furnished. That's what they want. So if it's just a vacant house, it ain't going to happen, because these people, they have lots of money and they don't have time to find furniture and do all that stuff. So just a little side note, which is kind of the fun thing about these videos. I never know what I'm going to say or talk about. It just comes naturally as we drive around. So we just hit, we're just now hitting Sunset Boulevard, and over to that little hedge on the right, that was a house that sold a few years ago for $40 million. on an acre of land, the daughter of a president of a foreign country. I won't mention which one. And right there to the right is Will Rogers Park in Beverly Hills. And over to my right behind is the beautiful Beverly Hills Hotel. It was built in the 1920s, and I think the second luxury hotel in Beverly Hills after the Beverly Wilshire on Wilshire Boulevard. So I've always wondered, because this is probably our biggest kind of intersection in a residential part of Beverly Hills, and unlike France or most of Italy and Europe, when they have these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 streets coming into one, there's no central round point or a fountain or an obelisk. I do love that about Paris when I drive in Paris, that you go to those giant intersections which are crazy, and you have to drive around, a fountain or an obelisk or something. So here, Beverly Hills, we have none of that. We just have, you kind of get here and you decide who goes first. So it's a little tricky sometimes. So here we go. You see, this is the palm trees. So these couple of streets, and I should post the map of the original plan of Beverly Hills. These streets were designed in the shape of a woman. It's quite interesting that it convened at the Beverly Hills Hotel, and these particular streets, Cannon, Beverly Drive, are all palm trees, whereas like Rodeo Drive, which is one block over, is not palm trees. So it's just kind of interesting, and I'm always thinking how that happened. So over there, that particular house was owned by the famous talk show host. Oh, I forget his name right now. He's been a talk show host for so many years. And that house he last sold it'll come to me shortly. Oh gosh, about 9, maybe 10 years ago for $8 million. This house over here is listed for just under $30 million. I think $29.9 is the price of that now. It's about 17,000 square feet. And we're back here in the flats of Beverly Hills. And there's another tear down there on the left. Sorry, I can't keep turning the camera for you. And in about 30 seconds, we're going to be in the business district of Beverly Hills. And I'm on Cannon Drive, which is where my office is. So we're going to be at the end of our tour for right now. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're enjoying the beautiful day. We had 3 days of heavy rain, which we desperately needed. And now sunny, clear skies. Lovely clouds, a nice cool 68 degrees, and so we're just ending the end of Beverly Hills Flats. We're now heading into the business zone, and these are the Beverly Gardens Parks, if you can see it there, and that's the famous Beverly Hills sign there behind the fence where they're doing more work on it. So anyways, hope you enjoyed my tour today. Christophe Choo from Coldwell Banker in Beverly Hills, California, and if you're ever looking to buy a house or sell a house, I've been doing this for 29 years, born and raised in LA, so I know every street, every dynamic about the city. I know all the pocket listings, and if you're buying a major property, 60% of the homes in the high end are sold off market. So call me. I'm in the inside scoop of what's going on, and I'll be happy to help you in buying or selling. Give me a call at 310-777-6342, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.